and are going to love it. In fact, to my mind, it's their best offering yet. Now, Danny from the script was there. He was looking fab and he was full of the chats, but we had to find out all about what really went down between himself and Bo Bruce from The Voice. Were they really a couple? Did Bo cause the split of Danny's relationship? We'll find out right now. Here's Danny chatting exclusively to 98 FM. So Danny, thanks so much for inviting us down here today to Windmill Studios.
No worries at all. Thank you very much for being down here and eating all our sandwiches and drinking all our wine.
Yeah. We only had one sip of wine and some tea, which was lovely, and you made the sandwiches yourself.
I did indeed.
Tell us this much, this new album 3. We just listened to 5 tracks. I think it was 5 tracks. Something. And everyone said they loved them straight away. I'm not just saying that because I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but they're
I know you wouldn't say.
I think actually that this could be maybe best work. Could it to date, do you think?
Again, I wouldn't want to jinx it by saying that, but we really believe that when we stepped out from the studio with this in our hand, we feel bulletproof. Be it if people like it or they don't, we really feel we're after making a great piece of work.
There were a few tears in the room for the intimate gathering with the song 6 Degrees. Was that difficult for you to kind of talk about it after your breakup?
No, I mean 6 Degrees it's just, I guess it's a guide or it's a help or it's a hand to other people going through breakups, I guess. We kind of took a little bit of a leaf from the 12 steps from the Alcoholics Anonymous, the things that you have to do to realise that there are steps that you need to take in order to kind of get through something like that. But anybody who knows the script knows that I'm going to be nothing but honest about my life. Like, fingers crossed that everybody else has the same reaction as you guys did here in the room. It just felt, wow, here we are again on the 3rd album. We did this on the 2nd album. It was a great sense of like, wow, this is actually happening here, and again, we're nerve-wracked over the whole thing as well, but again, as I said, we're really quietly confident because we love the music.
And we have to congratulate you on The Voice because we loved watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, did you enjoy your experience? There was a little bit of like ruckus between yourself and the other coaches, but that was good.
There always is, I had to fight the corner, you know what I mean? You have to fight in Irish and all that, but I have to thank the BBC for kind of editing me out to not make me like the knobhead that we all know I am. But look, again, we got there to show and to own a quarter of that show, because we feel that there's not enough bands out there, and we really got our quarter of what we wanted to say in front of 14 million people every Saturday, So it was a great experience, and one I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Are you coming back next year?
Yeah, I will come back to Ireland or coming back to The Voice.
Going to The Voice?
Yeah, you're going to or coming back to?
Coming over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go back. I'm already in talks with BBC. They'd love to have me back. I was talking to him last week. I was like, Will, I was talking to my good friend Will. Sounds so pretentious, doesn't it? No, but Will, we just shot a video with him last week, and he's like, yeah, I'm coming back. Are you coming back? I guess I've heard reports that Jessie and Tom aren't coming back, but again, they're only reports.
Jessie J, she's gas.
Jessie J.
What was the phrase she kept going on all the time?
Redonkuloso. That was redonkuloso. I want you on my team. I work with, you remind me a lot of Muhammad Ali. It's like, then Will turns around and he's like, you work with Muhammad Ali? You say it is dope. That's dope.
I think Will.i.am is so cute. Yeah, Tom Jones was loving the name drop, and we heard that's why he wasn't coming back.
Because you ran out of names.
Yeah. Yourself and the lads, you're living over, of course, in the UK, but you're flying back and forth to Dublin. What's the main thing that you missed about here?
Breakfast. Sausages. Sorry, Glen's in the background. Kettles. No, it's the sausages, really. They just don't get it right around the rest of the world.
Super Quinn sausages, I think, or Nolan's maybe.
Oh my God, Super Quinn sausages.
Get your ma over there.
Oh, I had them last night. It was the first thing last night. I literally landed, cup of chas and Super Quinn sausages.
Talk us through the obsession now with females.
What, my obsession with females?
No, sorry, the obsession of females for you, because I've seen it all over the place, from Twitter to like Reveal magazine. Is it getting a bit much?
Yeah, it is a little bit. You kind of take it with a pinch of salt, really. I don't think all these people would be coming up to me if I wasn't in the band or if I wasn't on the telly, you know what I mean? They'd be coming up, yeah, do you want to dance? Yeah. Slap me in the face.
We were just talking to Glen there a second ago, and he was saying that you were so sick of everyone putting you with Bo because of just the song. We saw you performing the song together, the chemistry looked amazing, and then everyone over in the UK started putting 2 and 2 together and getting 78. Was that the case?
Yeah, that's exactly the case. Everybody's saying Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze, and nobody puts Baby in the Corner. They're not dating. There was a movie, I'm on stage. It's obviously like, what do you think I'm going to start doing? Wear the face offer on a television show? Like, seriously, in fairness, I do have to thank the BBC choreographer, because not only did, she have me, me hand on her hip and all that, but also kept a story alive for like 2 months in the press, So, I mean, Bo, she was obviously, everybody wants to get press after, Leanne didn't have that much press, Vince didn't get that much press, but that story was just the leading story off the show.
It was all orchestrated.
No, it wasn't. it started off with the press orchestrating it, and I was sitting there going, well, we could squash this any minute and just release a tweet and say, nah, it's not happening. But Mark was like, this is actually quite interesting because you're just in it every day. So the press were actually hurting us by doing it and pressing it. But what we did was we just didn't tweet about it, and then now it's finally come out that we aren't dating, have never been dating, but it's kept us in the press for 2 months.
Look
great.
at you.
We got our own back. We got our own back, love.
So who are you dating now?
No, not in anyone.
Really?
Yeah, I'm totally single, free, available.
So Dublin.
Very, capital very, all caps, very single.
Because you know Dublin people are going to come up to you unless they really want you. For you, Dilly. For you.
Yeah, look, I again, it takes a while. I'm not going to go straight back in again. So I guess it take a while to heal. So I think I'm just going to give myself a little year off and just relax.
And
don't
also
go straight into a relationship again.
Because women they might say they just want to go on a date, but they really don't want that. They want a ring.
Do you want to go for coffee? And the coffee means a ring.
And babies.
And ring and babies.
Honeymoon.
What are you doing on Tuesday? I fancy going for, I don't know, maybe a wedding, have babies, see what happens.
That was me chatting to Danny from The Script. Great goss there on Bo Bruce. So, you know what? Don't always believe what you read in the papers. Of course, The Script's new album, #3, is out on the 7th of September. We cannot wait to get a first listen of that one. We heard a few tracks from the album, and you will not be disappointed, Script fans. I reckon it's their best yet. Coming up next on the Showbiz Show Uncut, we chat to Glen from The Script. Don't go anywhere. This is 98 FM. Another member of The Script we got chatting to was Glen. Here's how it went. Thank you for inviting us down to your sound check.
You're more than welcome.
So you're not to your sound check?
It is. I'm doing a gig right now. No,
yeah, well, you invited us to an intimate gathering here.
Yes, a very intimate gathering. It was so intimate that I feel all intimidated. Intimidated is a word. No, thanks for coming down to have a listen to the music. You guys have been a great support to us for a very long time, and we're very grateful to everybody for playing the music, but particularly 98 FM.
98 FM were actually at your first gig,
yes, first gig, that's right.
And now to think that you're performing in front of millions.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, how did that happen? To you guys, we're quite amazed, to be honest, that, it's always amazing to even have a way to play to people, and the fact that people want to come down and listen to the music. Somebody asked me earlier on and they said, how do you gear yourself up for those long tours? You go away and when you have no energy and not feel like. I said, very simple. I sit down a list of all the things I'm grateful for, and included in that list is being in the band, not having to carry me drums up and down the stairs hotel to do a wedding, playing in really bad dodgy pubs where people are getting knifed and my gear's getting robbed out of the car.
That happened?
Yeah, years ago. I've seen many things in my travels. Many things in this world.
You haven't changed, and
I think you guys would know that too. From day one you've known us, and we're in here with diamond slippers on it. Do you know what I mean?
How many million did we say earlier? It was about 7, 8, 10. What is it? Many million sales?
Just my personal bank account, or?
Oh yeah.
I wish.
We wish to know that.
Yeah, no, I wish I did.
Millions and millions of records.
Yeah, when you get into millions it starts getting scary.
Can we just comment on how well you're looking? And I often say to stars that we meet, you look fab, but you look absolutely brilliant. What are you doing?
I'm just looking after myself. I train 2 or 3 times a week. I don't drink anymore. I kind of decided to give it a little bit of a break, and then the break turned into an extended break.
You look younger this year.
Really?
Yeah.
You look younger too, and the check's in the post.
You've collaborated with will.i.am.
Yeah.
We love Hall of Fame. We're playing it all the time right now. I love will.i.am. Have you had any more famous encounters with some nice celebs?
I had a really good encounter about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, flying to LA, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and who was two behind me? Only Liam Neeson. And I was like, no way, there's Liam Neeson. I was trying to build, and I was back into fan mode, and so I waited till the very end of the flight, and just so happened as I was getting off, he was literally right in front of me with his back to me. So right then I just tapped him and he turned and I said, Mr. Neeson, I have to say, you're a bit of a legend really, how's it going? Start chatting to him and told him, the script, the band, and he was like, I know you guys are great and stuff. And he said when he was playing in New York, and he was really cool because when he got off the plane, he had a guy waiting there to walk with him, and as we walked along he was ahead of me a bit, but when we got towards customs he stopped and looked around for me, and I joined him, and then we had a chat all the way down to customs, and I was saying to him, the Irish accent in America, what a bonus it is, and he was laughing. He was like, I know it is. So he's like, when he's playing New York and he's there around that time we're playing, so he's like, I'll be there, I'll come down to the gig.
He's coming, he's a fan.
Really,
Liam Neeson,
really cool guy. I have to say, I was really blown away how nice he was, and everybody else was afraid to talk to him. Everyone was looking at him. I just went, how are you? How's it going? You don't
know this, or maybe you do know this, but we heard this. We heard a little inside info here.
Great.
People used to come to the studio and ask to set foot in the studio where you two recorded. Now they're asking to set foot in the studio where the script recorded.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, here.
No, are you kidding me? That's
How does that make you feel?
I find it hard to believe, to be honest. Part of me doesn't believe that. It's very crazy. Wow, that's again very humbling to hear something like that.
I'd say they're pretty thank.
I know Adam a little bit, but I don't know. Look, we met them in Vegas, and they couldn't have been nicer to us. They were in doing an interview, and we were going in after them, and they walked out, and Bono was like, the lads, and he was really cool, and suddenly we were chatting to them, just as casually as chatting to you now, you know.
So did the other lads from the script think that Danny was going to leave them when he went off to do the voice on his own?
Oh, I thought he was leaving us there and then. That was it. No, not at all. No, Dan, you know, to be in the band like we are, I mean, we all know each other so well, and you see the big smile on my face because I know what the dynamic is like. I couldn't believe the job that he did in that show. I was worried with him going on. I thought, it's such a big platform, and what's he going to say, you know, because you never know with anything. But I was so proud of him when he got on, because he really showed his wealth of experience and knowledge in the industry. A lot of people were surprised, like, geez, this really knows what he's talking about. I was impressed with him. Wow, because a lot of things he said, I was sitting there at home with my man Dan and be like, he's going to say this next, and he would, and they'd be like, how did you know that? Because I've been 5 years around the world with the lad in interviews, and I know what he's going to say. But he was brilliant. Even the way he coached his artists and stuff like that, it was great to watch. For us, for him to do that was to try and get the name more out there. You ask people before that, do you know the script? People go, no. You say, do you know Break Even? Yeah. Do you know the Man Who Can't Move? Yeah. Do you know the script? No, I don't. They didn't know who the band was. So this helped to kind of join a lot of the dots.
We deal with the magazine quite regularly. They're a lovely magazine. They're ringing us up going, do you know anything about Danny? We're all obsessed by Danny. So I mean, all the magazines are on a people.
It's very fun.
I'm going to ask him about this now, but there was a lot of chemistry between and the girl Bo when they did that song together. Did you notice that?
Of course. And then of course everyone's like, what's going on? He's having a relationship with that poor girl. Was in about the press over there, and she's a lovely girl. I had great crack with her one night, and they weren't taking pictures of me with her. But I'll tell you what happened. I was outside the hotel in, I forget the name of it, and she was having a cigarette, and I was out having a chat with her. And the next day in the paper, this is true, they had a picture of the back of my head. You could see me earring, and they were like, here's Danny with Bo outside. And I mean, I'm smaller than Danny, and Danny's laughing. Look, I just shrunk a few foot and I got an earring. Two of us are having breakfast, and none of them laughing at it. I was like, that's my head. That's what they do.
Over UK, maybe they're trying to get some dirt.
It's more paparazzi style stuff. It was like, you know, they were looking to try and get a picture with him and her together, you know what I mean? One night we jumped out of we were in Soho House, me and him went in to have a jar and chill out and stuff, and she was in there with friends. So when we were leaving, her friend came in and said, do you mind if she gets in the car? And we were like, well, that would be a good idea, because there's going to be cameras. Went outside, no one in sight, no cameras, and I said, cool, I don't care. So we got in the car. I swear to God, she literally put one foot out the door, and it was like guys were jumping out with bins or something. I don't know where they came from. There was like 7 or 8 of them.
That was 98 FM chatting to Glen from The Script. The Script's new album #3 is out on the 7th of September, and I reckon it's their best album yet. It's their